What's up, guys? It's Calibre here,
With the beast.
And I'm Taro.
and I went to the vape shop. What day was it? Friday.
Yesterday?
So yeah, went to the vape shop and I picked up this. This is the Vandy Vape Pulse BF kit. So notice we're not using Skype this time. That's because I wanted to make my photo a lot bigger, because it takes a while to understand what I'm doing because it's so small. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up. I put it back in here for unboxing purposes. So the first thing you will see, or maybe not the first, but one thing you'll see in here is your Vandy Vape BF Squonk or Squonk mod. You also get a silicone adapter for an 18650 battery, and here we have the Pulse bottom feed or bottom fed RDA or Squonk RDA, whichever you want to call it. So we're going to go ahead and throw this on top of here. Now I already have a build in here. It's not the prettiest build, but it works. So this is what the build looks like. You can't really see that, but it's just a dual coil, 4 wraps on each coil, coming in at 0.16. All right, so we've got a battery here. Gonna go ahead, put that in here. Make sure this goes on the negative side, and then the negative is facing up. Because if you put it in backwards, from what I heard, you can fry your switch, and nobody likes a fried switch. All right, so before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and let Beast talk because he has the most experience with the Pulse here.
Oh, yeah. Had a couple. I actually, mine did fry. So, but mine was more because I parked it on my dead rapid, as everybody who watches previous videos remembers.
Yeah.
This is the exoskeleton of the one that went up in smoke, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
um, I overall like the Pulse. I mean, being a unregulated squonk mod, it's really nice. The bottle's really the squonk bottle itself is really nice. I like the soft silicone bottle, and it also has the threads kind of built into the bottle, which I think is pretty neat. Um, I think it's nice that it has the comes with the adapter too. I think that's really
Yeah,
nice.
because not everybody's got it. So I bought a 2700 to go with it. I'll get more into this battery here in a second and explain to you the rundown on it and why I'm actually going to use it. So yeah.
And the RDA it comes with, I think, is an awesome RDA. I think it's a little. It is a postless RDA, which he'll showed you like when you saw his build there. Right now I'm rocking the Pulse right now on my doing dripper
Mm-hmm.
mode here. Um, Airflow's got vertical shafts that point down. I mean, anybody who's seen reviews seen these seen a breakdown of it. So I mean, as overall, what I was gonna put in my 2 cents is that airflow I think is really awesome in this. I mean, you get nice airy flow.
Airy
Um,
flow.
the cut the yeah the cutoff is a little bit like I don't think you can really cut off too well, but it's either like you can kind of do it somewhat, but it doesn't have a good like a wide range.
Yeah.
But but I like it though. It's
Yeah, it's a very good. From what I've used of it, I haven't had it for very long, but from what I have used of it, it does seem like it's a good RDA. It's different to build on, but it's not hard.
right.
You
I
just
agree
got
with
to
that.
make sure. The only really thing you got to do is make sure your leads are clipped right to the
Mm-hmm.
right length. I prefer, like with postless deck situations, I kind of prefer my depending on what it is, I prefer my coils to sit closer to that deck.
Right.
Cuz the
Another thing
close
I
Go
oh
ahead.
god. Oh, I say another thing I like about it is it has the two-piece barrel design.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, well, I mean, it's still theoretically the top where the air Like most of them have like the
Here,
airflow
I got
on the
mine
top.
apart. I'm gonna go ahead and show this. So this is what he means.
Right. It's split in the middle instead of being split like on the very top. So it's kind of like when you fill it, you can just open
And
that
you
up
know
and then.
the best part about this is it only goes on one way, so you can't have the risk of putting it on upside down.
Right.
And I will tell you one thing. One thing I did notice when I got this, the O-ring tolerances were really tight.
I think a little too tight on the bottom one, but since you're not really having to take it off as much because it does have that split design, I think that's pretty promotable. I think that's nice.
Well, believe it or not, Beast. Now that you mention that, my O-ring tolerance for my bottom one is actually it's not that bad.
Mine is I have to take a pair of
See?
pliers to get off.
Mine's not that
Oh.
bad.
Oh, mine is. I don't know. This one is anyway.
Did you juice up the O-rings? Put a little.
There you go. No, I did not.
You should probably do that because you could have the risk of tearing your O-rings. Trust me, once you put a little juice on there and get it well lubricated, it'll pull off a lot easier.
Yeah, you want to put some lube on your rubbers.
That's what she said.
Nice.
But while he's doing that, let me go ahead and come back up here real quick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about this 2700 right here. It's an E-Fest. We all know E-Fest. I personally don't like E-Fest, but I read Battery Mooch's review or testing or findings of this battery, and it's a genuine 30 amp battery, 3000 milliamp hour. So yeah, at least they're producing a good battery in the 2700. We're gonna go ahead because I've been rocking this mod with 18650s all day. Because I wanted to save the charge of my 2700 for this said video, or this video right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that out. And this is what I love about it. This is what I love. It has a back plate that comes off, and Beast had covered this in his YouTube video for the Pulse, and it has a little cutout right here for the squonk bottle, and I thought that was a pretty neat design. So again, remember. Negative goes up. This is a freshly charged 2700, so this will be the telltale right here if it's any better. Alright. It hits a hell of a lot harder. It hits a lot harder, Beast.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And from when you do buy it, it does show you right here on the side. I don't know if you can actually see it on mine, but it does have like little indicators that shows you positive bottom and then negative top too.
Yeah. Which I'm trying to get Beast to get another one so we can have a Pulse Squad.
Pulse Squad. When the 80 watt comes out, I'll be your Pulse Squad.
Yeah, I'll probably end up getting the 80 watt as well, just for the hell of it. Because I do like squonking. I will say this. I do like squonking, but sometimes running unregulated or even a mechanical is just unnecessary, depending on where you're going.
Oh yeah, I absolutely think it has its place. The only thing I like about the one of the things I like about the 80 watt that's coming out, they had a design for the squonk bottle. The lid is different, so you can actually grip onto the lid itself and not put any pressure upon their bottle, which causes it to kind of spew out when you're filling it.
Oh, that's one thing I do have to say about this. That's a downfall.
It is. I do hear that you can put the little tri-tool or an Allen key, put it in the hose, kind of push a little bit in while you're screwing it on, and then let it go, and then that'll suck that down. And then when you put it off and put it on the hose, or feed tube. But that is something I actually watched on Vapor Trail with Tony B himself. So
yeah.
I mean, I haven't tried it yet. I never got around to trying it anyway. So I mean, it's something you can try sometime.
Now, I forgot to mention this. You do get a black drip tip as well as with the red or whatever color you may get. And you also get some extra screws. You get an extra spring. I gotta see what that goes to.
The spring goes to the on the inside of that little safety switch.
Okay. All right. So you get an extra spring. You get an extra screw, and it looks like you get something else. What is that other thing? Unless, oh wait, is that an extra magnet?
Yes, those are magnets. Yep, for the doors.
Okay.
Yep.
So you do get an extra magnet. You also get a little tri-tool, which I got a bunch of these. I do.
Speaking of the pulse, I'm sending Caliber the green doors since he has the green drip tip.
Yeah, that is true. I do have the green drip tip. What is it on? It is on my mesh. Let me get it.
That's another thing I want to mention. That's one thing about the pulse that I really like. It's very customizable. You got the drip tips. I mean, obviously they correspond with all the different colored doors, and they've come out with a bunch of different colored doors. You got your frosted line, you got your solid colors, you got every like even graphic designs on them. I mean, it's a very customizable box mod, which I think is really nice.
I like my red doors.
I like the frosted line.
Oh yeah,
the frosted line is one of the best.
So here's the green drip tip. So there it is. And show them the doors that you're going to be giving me if you know where they're at.
They're in your package.
Okay, so they're already in my package. Now, here's the thing, guys. Me and Taro, we actually have the same color pulse.
Yes.
Yep.
One of the original reasons why I got, not only because I wanted, but one of the original reasons why I got the pulse is so I can play around with builds to see where this mod likes it, and it typically likes round wire builds. Round wires, less wrap. I prefer, honestly, unregulated, I prefer Canthal A1. I mean, you can get away with using 22 gauge nichrome and even 20 gauge nichrome, but if you're starting out building, Canthal all the way. So yeah, and that's what's in here. I don't know too much about this switch. I don't know its limits. I don't know what the amperage on it is. So yeah. If I had to, I don't know. I don't know if I would trust it below 0.1 or even close to 0.1, to be honest. I think you want to stay sort of in the higher ranges with this. I'll have to do more digging on the pulse. But speaking of that little switch, let me go ahead and show that real quick. I love this little switch right here. You can just... And the mod doesn't fire. I love that. Now, this also has a little safety on it. You push this up. I know this is a pulse video, but because I do want to do a direct comparison real quick. So this, you push this up. This is fully mechanical. So you push this up, you can't push the fire button. Pull it down, fires. Battery's dead. Or low. But where I think the pulse outweighs this is with that back. See this? You just have your battery to push the battery out. Now the problem with this is in order to get to the squonk bottle, you have to take the battery out and then pull the bottle out.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big key factor for me. And the reason why I like the pulse so much already is its size. So I'm going to show you that real quick. If I can get this backpack on. Alright. Let's see. There we go. Magnets. Magnets everywhere, beast.
Magnets everywhere.
But there's a size difference. This thing is so much smaller. So yeah. And they're probably wondering, how does it work with the dead rabbit? Well, that's a funny thing. I don't know why Beast didn't have to do this, but I actually had to adjust my pin for my dead rabbit.
To be fair, isn't the thing that destroyed his pulse the dead rabbit?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, actually, if we're gonna talk about that real quick, can we talk about that beast?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So what had happened was that the dead rabbit itself is not a bad RDA. What Beast Mode did, he used a 510 pin that was a little too short, or was it a little too long?
It's a little too long.
A little too long for it, and he backed it out to a point to where it just kind of arced itself.
And that was because Hell Vape didn't know how to mill very well. But it's a small company, so it's
Yeah,
bound to
but
happen
you were
when a mass
talking
produce.
about how Beast didn't have to get his dead rabbit adjusted. That's why. Was because he didn't even have the right squonk pin for it because his squonk pin didn't work right.
Yeah, because they
So
didn't
he
even
had
have
to
it.
use a different squonk pin.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
that
when he got his second pulse and his second dead rabbit, he was using the pulse on the dead rabbit at one point.
I don't think I used the pulse on the new Rainbow one. That was I
Oh
used it
no,
on
that's
the
right. You had the G box.
yeah. I did use it on the SQ, but the SQ protrudes a little bit more than the original Dead Rabbit.
Yeah, but as you guys see, it works fine. Now I'm gonna say this, just with the battery it has in here. All right, so we're gonna pull me back up. With the battery that it has in here, it does hit hard, but I will say this: it does not hit as hard as a fully mechanical mod. And the reason for that being is you got this switch. The switch does have a little bit of voltage drop. The delay is not too bad on it. And I think that's one of the issues you had with it. Yours had a little bit of a delay.
When I first got it, it didn't have it so much, but then when I wanted to use more wraps and such, and then it did. But that was kind of my building style that kind of did that.
Yeah, I prefer less wraps. So less wraps equals it does equal less surface area, but in turn you get on unregulated a single 18650 or a single 2700 unregulated, you do get a faster ramp up time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's pretty much it for that. One thing Beast did have an issue with, I haven't experienced this yet, and that was you had that over squonking issue.
Wasn't over squonking on the pulse bottom fed
Yeah.
RDA. Yeah, I did on the RDA. I had a little bit where it would kind of travel up the tube, but you couldn't really. Let's put this. I didn't have it until I got the dead rabbit with squonking on it on another device, and then when I was you can't squonk as much as you can the dead rabbit. The dead rabbit has such
Yeah,
high
with the all right.
airflow.
Yeah, so with this, when you squonk with this, you just kind of give it just a little nudge. Like you don't want to press it all the way in, but you could just press it like once or twice, and it'll shoot juice up there. Especially if you build the way I do.
Mm. So I mean that's just something to get used to. It's a lower. It is lower on the airflow side.
Ah shit! What the
But
fuck happened? Okay, there we go. Your camera started doing some weird shit. At first, it like flipped your image, and then it went to like you didn't even have your camera on, but it's good now. So go ahead and continue.
yeah, yeah, with the airflow, I mean, like it's a little lower. So I mean, anything with lower airflow, you got to watch it like over squonking anyway. I mean, that's just it's not bottom flow; it's kind of the middle airflow kind of going on.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And with
that's
things
just one
with
thing.
like bottom airflow, you definitely got to watch that as well.
Oh yeah, that's notorious. Anything with bottom airflow will leak like a sieve if you're not being careful. But I mean, other than that, I thought the pulse itself. I mean, if you get the legs right, like you were saying earlier, it's not a hard mod to it's not a hard learning curve to learn how to build on the pulse.
One thing I've learned with the pulse, and I've actually figured this out. If you do tend to build a little bit high, what you can do is if you cut your legs just right, you can actually rest that screwdriver across the top here and then tighten your leads down. But mine had an issue where it wanted to the coil wanted to sit this way, so you have to manually bend it to where it falls in line like this. That way it lines up with the juice well. But once you actually get a build in here, which I need to straighten this build out a little bit more, come out a little bit this way, that way it sits perpendicular to the is it perpendicular or horizontal?
Horizontal, I think.
Horizontal to the juice well. But I mean, so far it works. The coils aren't touching. They ain't shorting out. It's not touching the deck. I still got plenty of room on the what little deck there is. See, this is the funny thing about the Pulse. When you actually put your coils in, there's not much deck there. But if you go off like to the side like this, so this is the way my coils are facing, there's a deep juice well right there.
Yeah.
But I can't, for the life of me, cannot figure out where this juice actually comes from.
Oh, there's actually a little, actually inside the deck, there's like it roots out to the side into the juice well.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. But
Like,
it's for the price. Depending on where you go, I know Beast when he got his, he paid $60, and I paid $50 for mine. But where you go, let me go ahead and pull me up real quick. But depending on where you go, I mean, it's not a bad little starter kit for the price, or a little kit for the price. Tony B definitely did a good job on this, designing it, and Vandy Vape just did a good job of making it come together and actually happening. Definitely can't wait till the 80 watt comes out. So yeah. All right, so babe, I know you've been using the you've used the RDA a lot. How do you like the RDA?
Well, it's the first 38 I ever had, and it works well for what I wanted it for, which was like compulsive juice switching.
Yeah.
But something that I think it'll be pretty easy to build on, just from my experience of I pulled out both coils and turned one sideways and put it back. I also had to re-wick it, so that was like both of those things were pretty easy to figure out. I think it's just actually going to be the building of the coil that I might have an issue with. But it seems pretty easy and straightforward and hard to fuck up, so.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not hard to fuck up, because I mean, I look at it this way. Cut a little bit off at a time, because you can always take more away. You can't put more back.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but like you asked me how I felt about it, and I said I feel like it's not going to be hard to fuck up.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be hard to fuck up.
But I also told you this as well. I told you to at least keep on the coil so you have a reference mark to where to cut. Because Beast is a damn good builder.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're a damn good builder. Also, alright, so whenever I build my first set of coils, I clip both of them, make sure that they're the same, fit it down the deck. If that's where I like it, then I'll build my other set of coil, and I'll actually use the alright, so say these are not the clippers I use anymore, but these will work. So if I have a coil, what I'll do is, so say if I cut a little bit off in here, this is a coil that didn't really make the cut. So what I'll do is, and there you go, they're perfectly cut. I use the top of this as a measuring device. It's not perfect, but it works. So yeah. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to him. His is S13_the_beast. And hers is Terror Storm. And this is the Storm family signing out.